With us now is Father Ray Enzweiler. He's a priest of the Diocese of Covington. Currently, he's also the chair of the theology department, Thomas More University. He was able to receive a special honor a couple days ago up at my alma mater, the Pontifical College Josephinum. He was honored with the Good Shepherd Award on April the 25th from his time as administrator and faculty member up there at the Josephinum. Father Enzweiler, thank you for being with us today.
You're quite welcome. It's very happy to be with you and talk to you and have this chance to talk. And Father Ray is fine, by all means.
Well, Father, it's interesting. When were you serving up at the Josephinum?
So I was at the Josephinum from 2011 to 2019, 8 years in service up there.
Okay, and you I guess that taught some theology and also did more formation work, huh?
Yeah, so I started off in the college. I was a formation advisor, an external formation advisor, and I was teaching basically all the math and science courses. I have a background in physics, and I also was teaching some of the catechism, undergraduate theology courses, and got a bioethics class here and there. And then I also did some work in theology. I moved up doing teaching and administration.
Well, I'll tell you, like I said, I graduated from the Josephinum College in 1987. And so I'm very familiar with the building, its institutions, and its histories. And I was wondering, the Good Shepherd Award, which you received, was it the Jessing Award that preceded that, or is that another different award that's given?
That's a different award that's given. This award was started in 2010. It was specifically for bishops and clergy who, through their service and their example, do a lot to promote vocations and especially to help the Josephinum. So the Jessing Award is a different award, and they also have a Leo the 13th Award as well, and a St. Joseph's Award. They have several awards to recognize people for their support of the institution.
Well, I saw they had a big dinner. I guess it was just this past Monday or Tuesday, and it looked like it was a good time was had by all. But at the Josephinum, they always know how to throw a party. That's for sure.
It was a great party, especially since it's the first one they've been able to do since COVID times, basically. So it's an annual party, this Good Shepherd dinner, where they bring in a lot of their benefactors and just celebrate the reality of what it means to be the Josephinum and how much they appreciate all the help that their supporters give them so that they can do the work they do.
I know the Josephinum has a very interesting history. I don't know if many of the Cincinnati people are aware of it, but it was originally founded by Monsignor Joseph Jessing, and he started an orphanage. And he had this newsletter called the Ohio Wursenfreund, the orphan's friend, and he managed to get some people to contribute to starting a seminary, which they started in downtown Columbus. The boys were being trained in woodworking and all those kind of things. And then, because he was very German, and he was afraid about starting a seminary without with a priests being sent anywhere who weren't where they weren't German. He made an agreement with basically the Pontifical Missions, and then of course had that place named a Pontifical Seminary. And it was basically a German missionary seminary up till about 50 years ago, or every other month I think they spoke German, and they were then assigned by the papal delegate to dioceses that needed Germans back then. Nowadays, when I was there in the 80s, they tried to focus it on more Hispanic dioceses, but I think it's a whole different situation. But it's quite a complex of buildings. The college was very strong when I was there. It was jammed. You couldn't fit another guy in it. But, seminaries go up and down, and they change the requirements, and they just put out a whole new set of requirements. It's probably going to even change seminary formation more.
That's right. They're in the process, actually, the Josephinum and every seminary, of implementing these changes. The bishops just approved the program that guides how seminary formation is done. They're waiting for the Holy See to approve what they said relative to the general formation guide documents they gave. But the Josephinum is doing a very good job of really working to prepare the men completely, just physically, mentally, spiritually, and just humanly, so that they can go out and be pastors for the people and serve them.
Now, Father Ray, I guess you were seen as a rather late vocation, huh?
That's correct. Yeah, I taught physics for 14 years at the university level. And so it was something where I thought about it off and on, but different things, little messages from God kept saying, nope, this is what I want you to do. So it finally got to the point where God said, okay, you've done this physics now, you've done some work in the parish, you need to really move towards being full-time serving me as a priest. So I entered when I was 39 years old and was ordained when I was 44.
Now, where did you do your studies at?
So I started off at Mundelein Seminary in Chicago. I did my pre-theology up there, and I was actually offered the opportunity by the diocese to study over in Rome. So I went to the Pontifical North American College.
Oh.
So it's the seminary run by our U.S. bishops over there, and studied at the Gregorian and then Regina Apostolorum, getting my degrees from those two institutions, a bioethics focus and my general theology focus.
And then, once they usually send it over there, they usually will end up putting you in a classroom rather than a parish, don't they?
It seems to be the case. They're trying to emphasize more and more over there, even the idea you have to expect and plan to be in the parish. And that's one of the things I had to discern. I loved teaching so much. I knew if I entered the priesthood, I couldn't tell the bishop, put me in the classroom. It's worked out that way. I've done it pretty much my entire priesthood. There were 2 years during COVID when that wasn't the case. But yeah, they do expect you to be involved in administrative work or other work a lot of times because of the higher training that you can get over there at times.
Yeah, my license was in Mariology, and I taught here at Mount St. Mary's from 1999 to 2018. And before that, I taught 5 years part-time, but I was a hospital chaplain and also living in the parish. And I have to admit, as much as I love teaching, I love going out on weekends to parishes to preach. That's where I really learned what I needed to learn to teach the seminarians. This is what you're going to deal with. This is what you need to know. Well, how do you know that? Because I'm out there preaching every Sunday and listening to people and hearing their confessions. And so, I mean, I think it's always a good mixture.
I agree. And that was one of the things in the seminary. A lot of the priests would go out and help in local parishes up in Columbus to keep that connection, to keep that sense of these are the people that I was ordained for. I was called to serve, and making sure I have that connection to the parish and the laity in a way you just don't necessarily in a seminary setting. And I missed very much as an external formator. I couldn't hear confessions because I had to be able to say everything I learned to the rector. And so I couldn't hear confessions in-house. And that's something that's been very moving for me, is hearing confessions and experiencing God's grace acting in those ways. And I missed that, to be honest.
Well, to me, hearing confessions is the most important thing a priest can do other than celebrate the Mass, because you begin to understand and comprehend the depth in people's souls and the struggles they're facing and where the mercy of God needs to go. I have to say, oftentimes when I would hear confessions, it was always it was moving to the extent that you walk away thinking, these people are carrying so many burdens. How can we help? How can we get Christ into their life to help them understand the mercy and the path? And this is, I tried for 18 years to convince the seminarians I was teaching that, and I hope it paid off.
I hope so as well. And I know from my experience, and some of it's just the reality of being in seminary, surrounded by everyone doing this intensive study, you don't think about how you're doing. You'll see it in homilies even. A new man is ordained as a priest. He's given a homily. He's still talking like he's talking to other theologians and not talking to the people a lot of times. So that experience of once you're in the parish, you really sense the people and where they're at and what they need. And it's a grace of God to help you, guide you, so that you provide the service and really that show of compassion and love of God that everyone needs to experience and know is there.
Now, on Monday, of course, you received the Good Shepherd Award, which, as the Josephinum says, it's the recognition of your supportive vocations in the Josephinum. Your life exemplifies, in the qualities of a good shepherd. Were you surprised when you got that call?
I was very surprised. I know that I had done some work up there that near the end, in my last couple of years, a number of priests on faculty was dwindling, and I was willing to accept whatever I asked. But I always saw it as something, whatever I did, it's because all of the people that were up there, all the faculty, all the staff, the way we worked together. It wasn't me, it was us. And so when I got this call, I was not only surprised, but in my mind, it's a recognition, not so much of me, but as all of us, the team that we were. Even though my name's the one that was associated with it, I couldn't have done it without everybody who was there helping, including the seminarians.
Well, and that's important, and you're the new rector up there, Father Steve Basso. I taught with him for 3 years at Mount St. Mary's. He was teaching ethics while I was teaching systematics, and he definitely has the tools to continue the mission. And it was great that he and the board chose to honor you in this way.
Very much so, and it's one of those things I've gotten to know Father Basso a little bit. I left just as he was coming, and it was good for me to be back in my diocese, but I didn't get to see how he became really the father for the community. But my time when I was up there, I got to talk to people and reconnect, and he is doing an amazing job keeping the seminary and the people focused, especially through COVID years. I was really pleased with what he's doing and how he's leading that community.
We've been speaking today with Thomas More University Theology Chair Father Ray Enzweiler, this year's recipient of the Good Shepherd Award from the Pontifical College Josephinum. Father Enzweiler, where can people find out more about Thomas More University and maybe even have you for a teacher?
Well, you can always go to our website, thomasmore.edu, or you can look us up on the internet. Just search for Thomas More University, and I can't find my office phone number to tell you right now. But,
that's okay. We can put you up. We'll put the link up on our show notes.
That sounds good.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Father Ezra. Congratulations. And from one Josephinum to another, if God is for us, who can be against us?
Very true.
God bless you.